best for last? You say the best for last?
I saved an interesting for last. I can't say it's the best, but it's definitely interesting. This last story is also a golf story. It's a golf night, and here is the story. For all my life, I have been an avid golfer. Where I come from, it's always been an incredibly safe sport. However, this specific story was anything but safe. It was about 3 years ago. I was playing golf at a particular course that I always play at, but it was near twilight, beginning to get a little bit dark. I was on the 14th hole, getting close to finish, because it was around 7:30 and I was going to pack it in. It was absolutely dead at this point in the day. No other golfers or anything. I hit my shot and it hooked into the woods. Deep. Mind you, the forest leaves are very thick in this area. Can't see a single thing in these trees unless you actually go into the forest. Went to go look for my golf ball. It was on foot. I walked into the trees to find it. I got the feeling that someone else was in these woods with me, watching me. I shrugged off the feeling, thinking I was being crazy. As I was looking for my ball, I suddenly noticed it. It was sitting perfectly on top of a rock. This immediately was a big red flag, because the odds of a golf ball sitting perfectly on top of a rock after going bouncing off the ground was almost non-existent, unless someone put it there. As I noticed it, I also happened to notice there was 2 people behind a tree about 20 yards from the ball. I pretended not to notice them. I walked out of the trees, and I grabbed my clubs. I walked away like nothing even happened. I pretended like I couldn't find the ball. I just kicked out a new one. I finished the hole so nothing would seem suspicious to the people who were in hiding. After the hole, and when I was out of sight, I booked it for the clubhouse. Let the guy at the front desk, who I had known pretty well for a couple of years, know. He believed me, and he called the police. They went out to go investigate the area. They ended up finding 2 guys near the location I was at, and they arrested them. They also reported that my ball was sitting on the rock, as I had said. But they also noticed something else. They noticed something that I didn't see. There was a lot of leaves on the ground around that rock, and under those leaves was 4 bear traps surrounding it. The guys were trying to bait me into grabbing that ball, and I would have been caught by one of those bear traps. I don't know if they were planning on kidnapping me or why they would kidnap me. I'm not sure what ended up happening to them in general, but I never saw them again, and nothing crazy like that has ever happened to me ever in my life since then. Just tells you to always be aware of your surroundings. If something seems fishy, it's best to walk the other way and take the mark on your scorecard.
My goodness. Wow. I know what he's talking about because I've done some golfing, and you're starting to get that time of the day where the sun's starting to go down and you feel like you're running out of time and you're running out of daylight and shanked one into the woods, a little forest area. That's terrifying.
If it was on a rock like he described, just don't go for it, because that cannot be natural.
1 in a million odds, yeah.
Whether it's a person or a ghost or a monster, you don't want any part of that ball. You take the ball again, you lose the stroke, and you go again.
You think a lot of people would go pick it up though?
I imagine somebody would. I imagine some people have. And like I was saying, the last story, I can imagine that's how a lot of people disappear.
This one's crazy because if you were to, the golf courses are big.
Yeah.
There were bear traps hidden around that ball.
Yeah.
He would have been immediately he would have been disabled from escaping.
Yeah. This was the 14th hole, probably a good distance from the clubhouse.
All alone out there. The days of most to run the golf course about to close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been so bad if he would have stepped in that bear trap.
A bear trap, at the best of circumstances, is not something you want to step into.
Yeah, that'd already be bad enough, let alone the 2 guys that were hiding in the distance waiting for you. He's very observant, though, to see that.
Yeah, he noticed them, but he played it cool, which is probably the best thing he could have done. He was like, he didn't make it seem like he noticed them. He
I
was
wonder
just
if he
like,
was golf. You say golf course or foot?
he was on foot.
So you couldn't have made an escape with a golf bag that well. And if you got on your golf course, you could have started hauling it. A golf cart, I mean, you could have started hauling it, I guess. But someone said such an extreme trap. 4 bear traps.
I don't know if this guy was wealthy and this was the kidnapping.
Do you think it was his ball or a ball?
I would say it's probably his ball.
And they just knew how to walk around it.
Yeah, because I feel like this was like, they were probably waiting and watching from the woods from a few holes. And they were trying to figure out when to get this guy. They probably knew he had a good slice. And they probably knew eventually he would get it out there in those woods.
It takes a little bit to set up bear traps, though.
It does. It takes a minute, but
So it makes you wonder how long they were out there waiting. Like, were they doing this?
he hit it from the tee and it went into the woods. That means he's probably hit it probably about 100 yards. He's walking.
At least 100 yards.
And so I could see putting those traps out and just, or if you're keeping ahead of a person and walking in the woods ahead of them.
That or they had been there and they were planning on luring him in there somehow else. I don't know.
Either way, these people are crazy. You do not want to deal with them.
So you talked about people disappearing. Are you going to rob the guy and get like a small amount of money? Like, what would you get from this besides being able to capture somebody?
I wonder if this guy is part of some sort of company that's worth a lot of money. He didn't say, who he was or anything. But, a golfer, generally speaking, there are generally more wealthier people who golf, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that, obviously not everyone.
But yeah, generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, people who golf just for fun are generally wealthier people. So it's possible this guy may be, depending on how, what he is, he may be some sort of, tech guy who maybe makes money and these people were planning on kidnapping him.
Yeah, it could have been something else behind their agenda, yeah.
Or, maybe this was something else. Maybe this was some sort of plot to kill him from somebody he knows. There's a whole list of reasons why these people were there. They were definitely targeting him, in my opinion, because they weren't out there for anybody else, because he said there was no one else on the court. And this is a very targeted attack, like to get somebody when they, hit a ball into the forest to do something like that. Also, a crazy way to do it. Probably the craziest way I've ever heard of trying to capture somebody is with bear traps.
They're not an animal, yeah.
One of the craziest stories I ever heard. And when I heard it, I read it, I was like, this is perfect for my golf week. Just like, this is the perfect story to tell.
The master's gone bad, yeah. I mean, golly.
Master's gone bad.
I mean, a few extra steps could have changed his life forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like if he didn't notice those people and he had taken a couple more steps to figure out what was going on, could have hit one of those traps and broke his ankle, obviously. And who knows what would happen to him from there.
Did he go golfing there again?
He didn't mention if he didn't go golfing.
Would you go golfing there again?
No, never again. I would probably just play Tiger Woods golf on Xbox.
Yeah, I've had some crazy golf experiences. Nothing scary though. This is blowing mine out of the water. Mostly just liquor involved. 4 incidents.
Yeah.
But I really like the story a whole lot. That's crazy. I'm at Viv Games here. I'm going to check for bear traps next time I go golfing.
Yeah, we'll check for bear traps next time. Anyway,
You take out the trash.
Yeah.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?